Welcome to the UKOCR Community Podcast, presented by Obstacle Racing Media. Each episode, we'll be talking to race directors, elite runners, weekend warriors, and frankly, anyone else from the UKOCR scene that will talk to us. Here is your host, Alan, aka Muddy Duck.
Anywhere in Chicken Town. The bloody scene is bloody sad. The bloody news is bloody bad.
Double British Junior Championship. Finley Greenleaf, welcome to UKOCR. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
So, let's talk about this double British champs, because you're straight back off it. We're recording this literally 4 days after you were down there, Swanbourne on Devon. You won it last year. Going back this year, was there a bit of nerves? Were you thinking it's in the bag? What was your thoughts?
A little bit nervous, I think, because I thought won it the year before, so I've got a bit of pressure now to try and do it again. But I went out and enjoyed it, and took the title again.
Cool. How was the race for you?
Really good, actually. So I wasn't sure what to expect. There's a lot of time racing the adults now when it comes to the juniors, but it was actually good competition there, which was really nice. And it was a really enjoyable race in terms of obstacles as well. It was proper OCR.
Cool. Did you actually have a race? Was second and third? I don't remember the names. Go on, tell me who was second and third, because I don't remember the names without looking it up.
So third was Cameron from Scotland.
That Montgomery, is that Cameron Montgomery?
Yes, it is, yeah. And he had quite a good race, I think. But second was Joseph Pickering.
Oh, yeah.
And I hadn't heard of him before. I think he's pentathlon, I think I was told. But I went off quite quick, so I thought I want to have an early lead and try and give it a space.
Yeah.
And he stopped me for the first kilometre. The first kilometre was in like 3:20. And I thought he was going to drop away, and he didn't. And he just stuck with me. I was a bit like, oh, we're going to have a race here then. I got away after 2K, I think, but it was a proper tight pack at the start, especially between me and him.
Wow. So, what was the lead at the end? How far did you? I know you from my sources, because I didn't go down. My sources say you took the lead and you managed it quite well. Was you aware of you managing the lead, or was you just pushing throughout?
I tried to take the lead, and then I think I once saw him die away a bit, and I kind of had a bit of space, kind of think. And then when it came to the obstacles, that's more my element. So I managed to get through that. I think the gap just slowly widened, and it worked out. Cool.
Very well done. Awesome. So remind our listeners of your age. Because people don't believe how young you are. Because I was shocked with how tall you was when I went down to the British Champs the other week, and I saw you down there, and I was like, "Oh wow, you're as tall as me." Remind our listeners how old you are.
I've just turned 16.
So we have got next year to go as well, which, it's a Spartan race. We know it's going to be at Spartan. It's been announced it's at Spartan. This has got to be a 3 out of 3, hasn't it?
Well, we'll see, because at the same time, there's the Elite Wave on, the Elite British Championships. So it's a tight choice between the two. So we'll see.
I think we talk about racing and things like that. You're 16-year-old, 9th in the UKOCR Series 2023. And this is the elites. This is racing against the best in the country. You go out there and you get 9th overall. That's got to be an amazing feeling. Some of the names that some of the scouts that you took there, when I look down, Matt Roberts, John Redman, Sean Bucknell, John Howard, Greg Stubbs, Jason Morland, Richard Jarvis, James Schofield. There's some amazing names on there, and you're above them all.
Yeah, it's a great feeling to finish there, and I think especially ahead of some of them, because I've been doing this for a couple of years in the men's. There was a time where I was chasing them, thinking I'd never be able to catch up, and now with the position I am, I'm really happy.
Yeah, I mean, you're quite well adapted, like all Rumble racing team are, at doing rigs and things like that. Do you think that's helped your game? Because I mean, I've got your stats up. I've got your running stats up on Power of 10 here, and people are going to be astounded at this, but your 1500 meter time was 4:29. That's your PB, 4:29, which was done this year. Am I right in saying that was at Basildon?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you won that race, the Eastern Young Athletes League. I mean, that's a cracking time, for 1500 meters. That's 4:29. Gosh, I couldn't even run 1 kilometer in that time. So, I mean, you're absolutely astounding me. So you've got the running speed, and then you've tied that in now with the rigs and things like that. Is it that what's helped you move forward?
I think 100%. Yeah. So I started OCR, I didn't run at all, and then I joined a club a couple of years back, and at the time I was more just running for fun and just enjoying it. And then through COVID, obviously, I still trained and grew, and I think the last couple of years now I've actually become more of a runner than I used to be. I never really said to myself as a runner, and then out of nowhere, I kind of ran a lot more and became a proper runner. So I've got back to it now.
Let's go back to 2019, because I've got an article here in the Essex County Gazette Standard, and I'll read it for our listeners. So you can go and share this from 2019, June 2019. A determined youngster has conquered 3 grueling obstacle races in a single day, finishing ahead of 100 competitors. Finley Greenleaf, aged 11 of Wimpole Road, Colchester, was crowned the winner of 3 of the country's toughest Spartan kids races following an event in St. Clair, Kent. Now, that wasn't your first OCR, but was that your first major victory?
I think so, yeah. I reckon a little bit before, around about then, that's when I first started getting competitive, I'd say, yeah.
What was your first ever race?
Oh, that was Mini Mudder years and years ago. I want to say 2017-ish, I'd say, or 2018. Maybe earlier.
That was in the Midlands?
Yeah, I have to check when it was. It was one of the very first, but it was only because my dad was doing it, funny enough. My dad was literally just racing because he was supposed to race with his mates, and I was just there for fun and just went, why not, and gave it a go. It was never planned to be OCR or anything. It just happened. So a bit for fun, it turned into this. So yeah.
What was you into? So I'm going back when I was 11. I was into BMXing. What was you into? Pre OCR. What was your chosen sport or hobby?
I was a gymnast at the time, so
right.
I got a lot from. So yeah, I was very much gymnastics based. So that's where I got my strength and technical from. And I was at the time a bit of a swimmer. I think I kind of come out of that now, but I had a bit of swimming and a bit of gymnastics in me. And
wow.
But running at the time was nothing. I never properly ran or anything. That was never there.
Wow, that's quite good. Was you good at gymnastics?
I was all right. I think I made Essex for rings. Apart from that, I was a bit on floor. I was for the area. I was a good level, but not at that top elite level.
Right. What was your favourite apparatus?
Oh, rings or floor. I think number 2 I was best at.
Right.
Them most. So yeah.
Could you do the? I love watching the horse. You know, like the pommel. Yeah, the pommel horse. I love watching that. I think that's my most favourite gymnastic obstacle. Not obstacle. I don't know what you would call it. Apparatus out there. The way that they make it look so easy. The legs going left to right. And them down either side, and their hands are just constantly on it, and it just looks so technical and so hard, and I just love watching it at the Olympics. I could watch that all day long at the Olympics.
I'll tell you what, that was actually one of my worst pieces. I really struggled with that. You the same when you're there, you just watch it, they just go around and around and around. You give it a go, and you just off straight away. There's a certain technique to it, but the elites do it incredibly, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. You touched on there, your mum and dad was into, or you said your dad was into that. And I know your dad Mark was in it, but your mum Dawn as well, she's also into OCR, wasn't she?
Yeah, so she did a bit of OCR for fun. So I do sometimes race with her, like a couple of years back actually. It's a lot of Spartan stuff just for enjoyment. She's also very much a runner as well. That's where I got my running from.
Right.
So when she was younger, she was a runner. In fact, she had the opportunity to run for England, but she mainly quit because she didn't actually enjoy running.
Oh, wow.
But many, many years ago, she was a good runner. I think that's where I probably get my running from. But I think as soon as I started OCR and started running myself, she got a bit more into it again.
Right.
So I'll do like a run with her, like a recovery run, or if you're doing OCR with her, like a Spartan or a Tough Mudder. And yeah, so whole family's really involved.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And that, I mean, so it's in the genes then. What was your dad? What was your dad's sport? So maybe this is like, I'm going to ask you your dad's sport now, because maybe we can tie them together, and this is why you're good at OCR, and we can maybe be matchmaking for people in the future. What was your dad's sport?
Oh, my dad was a gymnast as well. That's why I first got into gymnastics. He was kind of encouraging me when I was younger. I said, "Oh, come on, give it a go, give it a go," and eventually just gave in, and yeah, enjoyed it.
Cool. Absolutely amazing. Have you done a bit of free running as well?
Yes, so I was a free runner for a couple of years, doing a lot of parkour, freestyle, and that's where I started with like obstacles like walls and stuff, just jumping over stuff, flinging myself off things, and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Amazing. Did you not want to go? Was that your, I guess, backup plan after gymnastics? What stopped you doing gymnastics first?
So I'd say it's just other things. I was good at gymnastics, but there was that certain elite level, and I
Yeah.
worked there. As I came more into running and a bit more OCR, there was a certain point for me when it came to doing Spartans and Tough Mudders where it turned from this is a bit of fun to yeah, this could be something I could actually take this competitively and seriously. So as I kind of phased more into OCR, I phased out of other stuff, but I still do. I still like every once in a while I do about 2 hours a week gymnastics, but it's not as major as it used to be because I really focus on things like obstacle course racing now.
Do you do that to help with obstacle course racing, or is it just you do that for fun?
A bit of both. I really enjoy it still, but it's good for conditioning and strength as well. Because that's how I got into OCR, so I might as well keep it up because it definitely helps.
Cool. Are you one of these? So after that, you're into free running. Are you one of these free runners that takes the GoPro out and films themselves jumping from building to building, or was you more a technical? So I see two types of free runner because I love watching free running as well. But I love all sport. People find that all the time. I love all sport, but when I watch free running, there's two types. So there's the ones that run and they try and leap from building to building, or from one wall to another wall that's like really long and try and push that boundary. Or there's the technical one, which is the ones I like, where they're trying to land on something that's quite small or do something really technical. What type of free runner was you, or still is?
So I'll try to explain it. It was at the same place I did gymnastics. We had these massive gymnastics floor, which was obviously soft, supportive, safe. And we had our coach who was called Isaac, and there was a little group of us. And all these like soft blocks, ramps, all sorts. And every week we'd just say what we're going to do. And we made all this crazy stuff and just gave it a go. So we liked doing our technical things, but also we loved at points just showing off and making these crazy jumps and things. But yeah, we just literally say, what do we want to do? Let's give it a go. And we just build something and just love it.
So it was more like let's try. I guess if you was going to do it buildings, it was let's go from building to building rather than like let's try to jump on a ledge and things like that.
We just came up with these crazy, stupid ideas and went, yeah, why not? I just gave it a go. So,
What was the craziest thing you did?
So I did something called a gainer, which is basically back tuck, but going in forward momentum. So I'm running forwards, but going backwards. And we set up these massive ramps and about like 3 sets of soft mats at the bottom.
Right.
And I had about 20-meter sprint run up. I ran up these 3 ramps and just from about, I'd say, a couple of meters in the air, 7 or 8 meters in the air, I just did a gainer off it. So I had this massive jump. I just kind of just span through the air and just crash landed on the mat. But it's hard to explain, but it took me so long. I think I was there for about half an hour. And every time I ran up to the edge of the mat and went, no, I'm not doing it. And it took me so long to eventually have the guts to do it. Once I'd done it, it was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah. I was something like as a child, it was always like, I'll tell a little story about when I was a kid. I was one of these kids that climbed trees, and we used to go, it's quite up to this time of year, it's bonfire night, and I lived near some woods, and we used to chop trees down for the bonfire, and the easiest way to chop a tree down was to actually climb it and someone swing on it while someone was chopping. And I was always that kid that climbed the tree as people chopped it from below and tried to get it to fall down quicker. So I get what you're saying, because the first time I ever did that, I was so like, what? I'm going to climb this tree that's like 5 meters tall. No. And it's like, yeah, okay, you're up there now. Let's chop it down and try and ride it. I probably get cancelled that now for chopping trees down when I was younger. A whole different lifestyle back then. Yeah. So you talked about mini mudder earlier on. That was your first event, but then you talked about a little bit about knowing when you moved from doing it for fun to doing it for competitive. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah. So it went from Tough Mudder more to Spartan, and this was still at the time where it was my dad doing it, and I was kind of just was there, nothing to do, so I gave it a go. And I want to say it was Spartan Edinburgh, and it was a kids race, and this is before it was competitive. I think it was actually next year they added the competitive kids, which is kind of how I got into it as well, because they added that wave in. But I was sitting in the start line, and I remember these two boys, and they, at the time, to me, just looked like absolute giants. I was looking up, I was like, oh my God, they're tall, I imagine they're quick, and because they're a lot older, I thought they'd just fly through. And we all went off in the wave, and I kind of took the lead, and I was like, oh, I thought they'd be ahead. And I kind of cruised around the course, felt quite good, finished, people were like, quite impressed, oh, well done. I was like, oh, cheers. And I was like, actually, that felt quite good. And people said I did quite well. And that confidence slowly built up. And like I say, it was not long after they announced the competitive kids in Spartan. And I went, oh, I'll give that a go then, because I thought I was doing quite well. And it's slowly built in from there.
Awesome. What spurred you to go into race against the best? So for a young lad of 16 years old, you could quite easily run all the kids' events, and to run age group week in, week out, and do well, win them. You're the best in the country at this moment in time. What's made you want to race against the best adults? And I use adults loosely. Anyone over 17 is what I'm trying to say. So what's made you join the start line? Because at the British Champs, you stood up on that start line with the best of the best in the country. You qualified, you earned your place, and I find it amazing that a lad of your age wants to do that. What's spurring you on to do that?
I'd say it's a challenge. I really enjoy the challenge of facing them and seeing where I am against the best of the best. And I think it's also getting that position, say, for example, at the British Champs, this is where I am ranked in the UK. So it's to race those people who can really challenge me and really push me. But also the atmosphere, I think I'd say as well. When you race that elite wave, the amount of people you see cheering you on, the support, it's incredible. So I think there's so much more atmosphere when it comes to the best and the biggest races. And then, yeah, like I say, competing against them is incredible.
Oh, it is. Are you welcoming the news from Spartan? Have you seen the Spartan news, first of all?
Yes, about the merging of elite and age.
Yes. So are you? I'm going to assume that you're going to welcome that, because then that's giving you the best of both worlds.
Oh yeah, 100%. I get to race both. Yeah, like you say, the best of both worlds. So yeah, I think that'd be really good news, and yeah, really positive.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be up there with. You're going to be in wave one. We all know you're going to be in wave one. You've earned your position over the years. I'd be highly shocked if you weren't. So you're going to be on that start line with the likes of Dan and Mo, Jason, Fergal. I could go through more. Darren Martin, James Burton, Dassos, all of those. The best race in the country at this moment in time. You're going to be on that start line with them. So you're going to race in race one. If you don't podium, then you're going to get first AG or potentially first AG if you're the fastest in your age group. I welcome it. I was a bit skeptical last week when I first read about it, and I've still got questions about it, but I actually do like, when I look at it, it's what we've wanted. We've wanted big start lines. It's going to be amazing on that start line in wave one now, because rather than have 15 elites, we're going to have 50 tier one athletes.
Yeah.
That's, and we're going to have more people up there, Liam Mitchell, he was going to go elite anyway, but, he's going to be right up there. Connor Wickens, these type of athletes that we've wanted to race in elite for quite a few years, they're going to be doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. We've got more people who are competitive in one race, more competitive races in one race, to be a bigger, better, more exciting race, I think, as well, is the main thing. So, yeah.
Do you like that type of race when you're in the mix? Quite early on at the British Champs, you were in the mix. You was right up there with everyone. A little bit later on, after the hills and that, you tailed off a little bit and you were running a little bit on your own. In between runners and that. Do you like being in the mix throughout the race?
I think so. Yeah, it's more. You get more nervous as well if you're thinking where you're going to finish, but at the same time, it's a lot more exciting. It's a lot more enjoyable of a race. I think Summer Nuts definitely is an example of that, because there was like the bullet lane and things like that. There was a lot of variety up and down in positions, and that certainly makes for a more entertaining race. But also, it's more exciting from your point of view, or at least personally for me. You don't know where you're going to finish, and you're battling with so many different people. You never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it's what we all want. I think it's from a spectator point of view. I'm never going to run elite anymore. You know what I mean? My days of racing are over. I like to plod around now and have fun. But it's great to see we're going to have such a great field of people running, and from a spectator point of view, and that's where I see myself now, to be able to see excitement. You know, the best race for me in the last 2 years was Challenge Cup. I want to say last year or the year before last, when there were 7 competitors, there were 7 men all racing right up until a kilometre to go. You know, they were neck and neck, chasing each other down. That's the type of racing I want to see. That's the type of racing the world wants to see, you know, them close races. So I think it's going to be amazing. Let's hope we get some video footage and TV footage and things like that. You quickly touched on nuts there. What's been your best race this year? Let's go best race overall first before I ask you UKOCR series race. So what was your favourite race of this year and why?
That's a tough one. But I'd probably, in terms of, I'll say overall, all the races would probably be the World Champs in Belgium.
Right.
And that because I enjoy technical obstacles, so that was quite nice. I like the free band system as well, but also especially the atmosphere. And I said that a couple of times, but it's something else. And all the people cheering you on, the fact that it's a World Championship, it's something really special, and I really enjoyed being there. I talk to people not from other countries as well, like Team UK, obviously all being supportive of each other, being one big team, but also all different countries there, chatting to different people. I think it was really nice atmosphere, really nice race overall as well, especially, like I say, the technical obstacles, some of the runs he went on, and that just stood out as something really, really special, and that was a really, really nice race weekend.
And you took part in a few races over the weekend. Which was your favourite distance?
15k. I think I'm definitely more of a longer runner. It's a bit of a shame, really, because I think my best distance is probably 7 to 8k, and sadly at the Worlds I go 3 or 15s. I haven't got that middle ground. But I think I definitely prefer that kind of long distance style.
Cool. Are you moving more into the long distance now? Is that going to be, I guess, your goal? Because we've got now a lot of shorter races coming in. You know, we've got the 3k World Championships in a couple of weeks. Not World Champ, the 3k British Championships in a few weeks, and we're seeing a lot more shorter races coming in. You know, since Spartan started it this year. What's your thoughts on that? Are you going to move? Because your 15k time is phenomenal. You know, I would have thought you was more adapted to a shorter race than a longer race. It's strange. What's pushing you towards the longer races?
I think it's a personal opinion. I think my legs, sometimes when I'm running at that distance, I feel I have more time to adapt. I think when you go to obstacles, it's more time to think. It's a lot more tactical, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of short races, you're sprinting out, going quick, and you've got that less thinking time. So in terms of those long races, I think I just prefer them myself. I feel a lot more relaxed in them as well, I think, and enjoy them a lot more.
Cool. When you're on a long run, what do you think about? I think about pizza all the time. Pizza's my big thing on long runs. I'm always thinking, because I don't eat pizza, so I'm always thinking, what would be my favourite pizza topping if I had a pizza? Or I'm always thinking about my knees are hurting or my ankle and that. What's your thoughts on a long run? Do you remember them?
I'm all over the place, I'll be honest. It varies quite a bit. When I'm racing, it might be about the next obstacle, might be about who's around me. It might actually be some random thoughts come to my head about post-race or before race. It's just all sorts, really. I don't really know.
I love the idea of what people think about I used to make a notes of mine on my phone and what I was thinking about and stuff like that. So the pentathlon's been announced. We're not going to see you in pentathlon then, and they're doing the 65 meters OCR, or is that something that you might be wanting to think about in long terms, or are you more purely outlining yourself in turnarounds? I want to be a traditional OCR athlete.
I mean, I was at the championships in Bath, and I gave some stuff a go there, and I enjoyed watching it, a lot of the pentathlon.
Yeah.
And it's definitely very entertaining to watch, but I don't know. I probably would stick to OCR because there's so many other things to try and learn. There's already, a tight schedule and things. So probably stick to OCR, but never know.
You really, first listeners, you never know. I'm not trying to go anywhere. That's your choice. Let's quickly talk about Team Rumble. Team Rumble, when did we join it?
Oh, I think it's probably about 2 years ago. I think I joined October, I reckon 2 years ago. So just about 2 years and a couple of weeks, I reckon now.
Cool. Why did you join?
It's a tough question, but you look at the team, it's incredible. Obviously, I trained there a lot of time with junior development program, and then you've got coaches like Dave and Mo, and it's just such a good community as well. It's great to be around. I say now being part of Team Rumble, it's hard to describe, but it gives you that push and motivation to keep on racing. It feels really special to be able to race in Rumble colours, in purple, and it just adds to it. It's something else that keeps you going, and it's really good when it comes to like training as well. To be a part of that community and part of that team, it's something really special, and I'm glad. Yeah, I'm part of it.
That's awesome. That's a great answer. That you had a choice. Well, I'm going to presume you had a choice because you could have gone to Nuclear Phoenix because that's very close to you, if I remember rightly. Because you are from Essex, aren't you?
Yes, I am from Essex. Yeah, it is quite close to me.
Yeah.
But,
so you decided to go Team Rumble. Did your mum or dad sort of push you that way?
No, it's that Rumble charm. Always been Rumble really. I think, especially like I say with Dave and Mo and all the coaching that goes on there, and it's that development. They know what's going on. They know how to develop athletes, and especially like I say with Mo, one of the only real examples I'd say in OCR where he's a bit like me, where he's come from being a youth, kind of grown into the sport, and having him there for support as well is really, really good.
I was going to ask you about Mo because it is on my notes actually that being at the same training venue as him, and as you know, Mo's been on my podcast and we spoke quite heavily about him being brought up in OCR. I'm very much like you. Is he I want to say, does he ground you? Does he encourage you? What's his role with you?
Obviously, I train with him a lot, and he's obviously coaching me as well. But like you say, how he's grown into it, I'd say he's very supportive as well on that side of OCR, and it's very helpful to be able to chat to him and speak to him about things. So yeah.
Cool. Is he a good mentor for you then?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I like that he's not an old guy, he's quite young himself, but he's been a mentor to the youngsters, giving something back. And that is that sort of what you want to do? You know, you mentioned earlier on off air that you were studying sports at school and things like that. Is it something that you want to go down into the sports side when you've left school?
Yeah, I'd say so. So my main thing after school, I want to try and go more sport and media, things like that. And especially like we see now OCR getting bigger and bigger, it'd be nice to see that more get its spotlight in things like the media. Right now, there's a lot of things, the major sports in there. So there's a chance of minor sports at OCR to break through, be able to have that opportunity, especially, and have that grow even more and more would be amazing.
Yeah, I think so. Is there friendly rivalry in the Rumble racing team? Because I mean, you got third. If you look at the team, you're the third best racer in there. Morgan, Darren, and then you. You know, the UKOCR series states that, you know, Rumble racing, it says Morgan, Darren, and then you. Is there a bit of friendly rivalry in there?
A little bit, yeah, especially on things like the troop race at the start of the year. It's always a little bit of rivalry in there, a bit of banter or training and things like that. So yeah, it definitely exists.
I mean, they've got some great rigs and that down there and everything else. With your gymnastic background, rigs and things like that, you know, I guess it's a little bit easier than some people because you've got that body strength. You mentioned about the rings and that earlier on. You've got to have a lot of upper body strength for rings and that. Yeah. Have they shown you more techniques, or do you still tend to power through rigs?
100% more techniques I've learned. Yeah, I think compared to what I started with OCR, that's what I did. I just went and tried to fly through stuff as quick as I could, but learning sometimes to take it slow and adjust different techniques and things like that, it's really helpful, especially when you're in like a long distance race or anything like that. There's so much more to it, and I especially learnt that with Rumble and training throughout the years.
Yeah, we've seen rigs go from we've gone from monkey bars, then they put a little bit of ropes on them, and then we went right down to what I call the impossible rig at the British Champs back in 2018, 2019, I think it was something like that, to where we are now. And the latest British Champs rig, it wasn't too difficult. We've seen much tougher rigs down at Nuts Challenge and things like that. Where do you sit on the rig side? Do you like to see something that's really difficult where we see plenty of failures, or do you like something that's a little bit like the British champs where, 80-90% of people are going to get through it?
I think there's a little bit more of a middle ground between those two that's quite nice. Obviously, you want one that gives a challenge to people. I think look at the British champs. I think a lot of people glided through that, especially how it's an elite wave. I think almost every elite should be able to get through that in the UK. That is the standard. But it should still be enough of a challenge to make people struggle a bit, but not so much that you're halfway through a race, everyone's slipping off and falling over. So there's got to be it's hard to find that level, but there's got to be an area where it gives a challenge, but it's still doable. Especially look like things like weather conditions, like depending on time of year, if it's raining or not, it can be tough to decide a rig. But I think there's that certain level where it should be at, and it would create a challenge and a good race.
What's your favourite rig attachment?
Oh, so that's a tough one. I will say the Taurus attachments themselves, they're nice and grippy. There's all different types of attachments, of course, but using the Taurus stuff, especially training in the garden and at Rumble, they're great. They're lovely to grab a hold of. They can give a challenge as well.
Yeah. I love the Taurus UFO one, that's
yes,
like
yeah.
disc, and I love that because it's so, every time you do it with some of that on, especially if you get 2 or 3 in a row, wherever you grab it, your whole weight changes. If you grab it at the side, it pushes you. If you grab it at the right hand side, it pushes you left. If you grab it at the front, it pushes you forward. Grab it at the back, it comes forward towards yourself. So I like that attachment because you can grab it in any way around it, and it just changes the whole dimension of how you're going to move to the next one.
Yeah.
So the one I don't like is the L-shaped ones. I don't like them steel L-shaped ones.
Yeah, they're tricky. Yeah. Tough one fast.
Yeah, they're not my favourite at all. I have seen the new Taurus icicle one. Have you seen that one? It's like a cone, but it's upside down, so it goes from thick at the top to thin at the bottom.
I haven't seen that, no, actually. I saw a couple of their new grenade-shaped ones, but I haven't seen them yet. I have to look into that. That sounds, good.
It sounds to me, it sounds really tough, because if you're holding something on your body weight, it's not naturally to hold it, with thinner at the bottom, is it? It's
not what you expect, is it?
No,
For rebound.
As I've Rumble ordered lots of Taurus attachments now.
I'd say so. Yeah, people go and train there. I think often you'll see rigs set up with Taurus attachments on, which is good to see. Because like I say, I enjoy them quite a bit. But I think if you go there, you'll see a lot of Taurus attachments.
You've not convinced your parents to get one in the garden then?
Oh, we've got a couple in the back garden actually. I think we got them back from Euros in Italy actually. Picked a couple up.
Right.
And I've got, I think, one of the cones and one of the L-shaped ones actually. I've got both of them in the back garden.
Oh,
and
wow.
They're tough to train on, especially like you said, that L one. That's not easy, but yeah.
Yeah. I love the rigs, mate. So what's going to happen 2024? What's the plans going forward for how is it? Are we going to focus on, because we've got in the UK, we've got 2 series, and I'm not going to ask you to choose the UKOCR one, but we've got Spartan that's announced everything. We've got the UKOCR series. We've got the Worlds. We've got the Europeans. What's going to be the focus for you in the next 12 months?
Well, for a couple of seasons, I kind of almost boycotted Spartan a bit because of the weights and stuff. If you look at the weights, you go from the kids to the adults, it's insane, the gap for that. So I've often actually kind of let Spartan relax a bit. I haven't really gone much to Spartan. I think over the years, I've got a bit more strength to me. So I might be going for the Spartan series, but I probably will give a go at that. And then UKOCR series, that's been incredible, I have to say, over the last couple of years. You get some big races in there. You also get some small ones as well, which are still really good and entertaining. And you get, because of the series, all these different technical racers and elites coming to these races. It's a really, really good series. I'll definitely be doing that again. And then, when it comes to the elite and the worlds, I'll definitely do the world champs again. I think Costa Rica is obviously a long distance, but it's such a big race. Like I said before, it was absolutely incredible atmosphere. It was something else. So definitely doing that again. But then sadly, the Euros I won't be doing because of my GCSEs, so I missed that one. But hopefully, a couple of years to be back to racing European races and the Euros.
Awesome. What race have you not done that you want to do? Is there any race out there that you think I've really wanted to have a go at that, but you've not managed to do it yet?
Well, I'd say a lot of the European races look a lot more than the technical ones in mainland Europe. A lot of them are really technical and look really enjoyable. I think the main one is probably Hang On. However, hopefully doing that in November. I've already signed up for that. So that's the main one I think I'm really excited and always wanted to do. And I can't wait.
Wow. What? So I'm going to assume that you're going to go to the 3K at Forders, though.
Yes, yeah, I'll be going to 3K at Forders, yeah.
So is Hang On late November then?
Yeah, it's late in November, I think. I think it's just after Black Friday, I think. So, yeah, later in November.
Fantastic. I follow quite a lot of OCR events, like races, events, whatever you want to call them. And I am obsessed with watching bison at the moment because they are, and I don't even know what country, I think they're South Africa, if I'm honest, but they are constantly doing innovations after innovations after innovations. And I'd love for someone like that to come over here and do their races because they are very, very obstacle heavy, and I mean super obstacle heavy. You know, I think the only running section is the first 1K to split the field up, and then it's just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle in between. So that's my type of thing. I love that type of stuff.
Yeah, we need that more in the UK as well. Definitely that kind of race. So I think that'd be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, we've only got nuclear that really gets that amount of obstacles, haven't we? You know, but it tends to be a little bit. You know, nuclear's what is it? 13, 16K, 15K.
Yeah, roughly. It's one of the longer ones. Yeah,
it is one of the long ones. So the obstacles are a little bit more spread out. But if you can imagine turning nuclear into an 8K, 9K race, you would get literally obstacle after obstacle. It would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
To do that. Maybe I need to speak to James Parrish and say that to him. James, we need to make your course short. No, James is absolutely brilliant. What he does down there is fantastic. So just we touched there on the future and that also for you. What's your mum and dad like supporting you? I mean, did they come to every race? I know I saw them down at the British Champs. Or is it just one of them? Are they both always there? They travel all the way around the world with you and that?
Oh, yeah, they're brilliant. I'd say it's tough them both to travel a lot. We've got a dog as well. So always have
what dog you got? Stop right there. Dogs. I love dogs. Tell me what dog you've got.
I've got a Springer dog called Pickles. So Springer Spaniel, Labrador mix.
Oh, wow. Does he run with you? Is it a she or a she?
She.
Does she run with you?
Tell you what, I've tried in the past, but she often likes chasing squirrels and all sorts. Try going for a run, she just pulls the other direction and she's just gone. So it's not easy to run, but I've tried. But yeah, it's not an easy task.
Oh, I love dogs. People know I've got dogs. I love dogs. Are you dressing her up for Halloween? That's the question, though.
I tell you what, no. We've got little. Most we've ever done is get little ears or little mini hat stuff, Christmas and stuff. I haven't done Halloween before, but never know now. You give me ideas, I might give it a go.
Amazon got some amazing costumes. I've got Wilson. So everyone knows I've got Wilson the Bulldog. He has got a Chucky outfit for Halloween.
Brilliant.
And that. And I'm doing. Are you a pump? Do you like pumpkins at Halloween?
Yeah, I've made a couple in the past. I've made a Spartan one before, actually. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was a couple of years back. The little Spartan logo in one of them. And that was tedious, but it looked good in the end. So.
I've got my pumpkin at the weekend, so I'm actually going to carve mine Thursday this week. So as this podcast goes out on the Monday, my pumpkin will have been done and everything else all ready to go and show outside my house. I love Halloween. Halloween is one of my favourite holidays, and that. Will you be doing any Halloween runs over there? Because there's a lot of Halloween runs as well, isn't there? Like little, not park runs, but fun runs and that. Are you into that type of thing, or?
Sometimes, yeah. I think I've done a couple of local runs as well, like in the area. There's obviously Colchester and Boxford, and a lot of the little villages have their runs, and I enjoy doing them. Don't know if any around Halloween in the area, but I'll probably go out for like a little recovery run and just enjoy the atmosphere. It's quite nice.
Yeah. Have you ever run on Bonfire Night?
Bonfire Night? No, I haven't actually.
It's one of my favourite nights of the year to run on. Usually around about 7 o'clock onwards, just for an hour, just like a little 10K, something like that. But just seeing the fireworks going off everywhere while you're running around, I love running on Bonfire Night. So it is one of my favourites. We digress.
Yes. We've got off tour there for a second.
Slightly off topic there. Are you a medal person? Do you have all your medals on show, or are you very much put them in a drawer and
Tell you
leave them?
what, I've been really lazy. We moved probably, I'd say, 2 years ago. I used to have them all displayed. I kind of packed them. And since then, I kind of just left them in a little box. I just pop things on top. I need to really sort stuff out and put them in places. Right now, I've probably got these little piles just separate between years. I really need to probably put them up in a nice place, but I haven't yet, actually.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Will Chung's display of medals?
I haven't, no.
So he's on Instagram as Will I Can, and his medals are in what are they called? Goldfish bowls in years. So, and he does a lot of. He doesn't just do OCR. He races every weekend and sometimes midweek, and does all road runs as well. So all his medals all throughout the years are all in fish bowls, and I just think it looks really cool that he's got a fish bowl from 2016 or whenever, and these are all his medals he did then, and so forth. So, or I don't know if he still has. That's where he had a couple of years ago when I saw them. But I like that idea, just putting, you could end up putting them on your wall, and you end up pulling your wall down with all the medals we get, don't you? You know what I mean? It's I don't tend to get medals anymore. I tend to say thank you very much. I've enjoyed the race, and things like that. It's got to be something really special for me to get a medal. Which is your favourite medal, by the way?
Oh, that is a tough one. I'll tell you what, Beach Ballistic in Scotland this year, that was a really nice medal. I picked that up at the end. I actually went, wow, and that's quite nice. And it's, I'll try and describe it. It's basically just like an old beach war scene from basically just describing a battle.
Yeah.
And I've only got one piece of it, but I think you get all three pieces and it turns to like a giant nuclear missile. And it's a really nice looking medal when you get all three pieces. I need to try and go back next year to try and complete it. But even piece on its own, it looks really nice. It's a really cool looking medal. And I don't know, there might be photos online, but for me, as soon as I got that, it really stood out.
Yeah, I like that. I like a good medal. There's a few events that have done medals that fit together. I think Nuclear did one once that fitted together, which was quite good. But the best one for me that fitted together was, and I don't know if you remember this race, but Airfield Anarchy.
Haven't heard of it, no.
So it was around pre-COVID, and I think it ended about 4 years ago, but it was in the Midlands, and they had 3 distances over the weekend. So it was like pretty much like a Spartan trifecta, but not Spartan. But all 3 medals fitted together to create a World War II aircraft. But each medal itself was a standalone medal, but when you put them together, that created a medal in the end, which I thought that was quite good. I like medals like that fit together. So, before I let you go, time flies, doesn't it, when you're talking like this and you digress and things like that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep you long because I know you've got all this training to do. Quickly, well, not quickly, you take as long as you want. First of all, I always ask people like this, what shoes do you run in?
Shoes? Oh, so there's a range. I think for OCR, it's always VJs for me.
Cool. Which model?
Extremes and Extreme 2s are my 2 main ones. So I train in the Extremes, and Extreme 2 is my race shoe. I just love the grip, the comfort, a nice narrow shoe, good pace to them. I think they're really nice. There's something special about them. I've raced in the VJ for a couple of years actually, and they just work. When it comes to,
I know Tony listens to this thing. Tony's the guy who imports them into the UK. So Tony, you need to get into Finley here and get some sponsorship over this way.
I think I might have met him, funny enough. I can't guarantee it, but I think I know Tony because of it's a long story, but basically on the way up to Beach Ballistic this year, I literally was packing and I realised because I'm still growing, of course, getting older.
Yeah,
I didn't really think my feet had got. I went to put my VJs on and they didn't fit me anymore.
Oh no!
And literally, we had to phone up and we made a stop on the way up to Scotland in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And to get a pair of shoes. I think that might have been Tony then because he told us how he was linked to VJ.
That's it?
Yeah. So that's a really bizarre story there. But that's I think I might know him actually. That's a really weird way I actually got my most recent VJs.
Oh wow, we need to sponsor you now. Are you listening to it? Get some sponsorship out. Double British junior champion, soon to be triple British junior championship in 12 months. That's what we're going to say. getting early. We digress again. Lovely story though. That's great customer service though. That, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that was brilliant. Literally phoned up a couple of days before saying, "Have you got it in?" And went, "Yeah, sure." Well, okay, perfect. We'll meet you. And literally halfway up, which went, "Nice to meet you." Actually talked for a bit as well. Got us a pair of shoes. And perfect.
Was it in a car park or was it a shop you went to?
It was a shop. So literally, we looked at the map to Aberdeen, and Yorkshire Runner was the name of the shop, and we literally had to look through online and see where I could get them, and we saw that was nearish direction up to Aberdeen, so we just added a little pit stop in there. I met him, got the shoes, and it was all sorted.
Cool. I think next year, if Beach Ballistics on the UKOCR series, because nothing's finalised yet, so I can't say anything, but I think next year we should have a meet in Yorkshire that's halfway, right near my house. Can all come to my house, barbecue in the garden, and all go for a little trail run. I think that would be pretty cool. We need to get everyone invited. Oh God, but I think my missus might not be happy about that until I tell her. You haven't heard that, listeners. Let's talk about. I was going to say, I was going to let you give a shout out to whoever you wanted to do, mention whoever you want to do to help share. So fire away.
That's tough to say. There's so many people, especially like I say, I've already spoke about Team Rumble Racing, especially Dave, Mo, for all the training and everything, and the whole team as a whole. Everyone who's there, just week in, week out. When it comes to being there, being at races or online, it's always such a brilliant community to be a part of. And I'm always grateful for that. Parents definitely as well, because like I say, couldn't get anywhere without them. Obviously, I'm too young right now to travel anywhere, so I always have to rely on them. And obviously, paying for races as well. Got to thank them for that as well. So
yeah, definitely
thank them a lot. I definitely have to say, like I say, talk about running. My athletics club coach to Harris, more importantly, my coach John, because like I say, I wasn't really much of a runner a while back. I literally ran for fun. And he's very much one of the things that changed me and made me a proper runner and got me to the point I am. So, yeah, he's important as well. He's really important for me. It's so hard to say names on the spot, I'll be honest, but there's so many people. Well, I hope they hearing this know they are, because I get so many people supporting me, especially at races. Like I say, there's people cheering you on. It's incredible. And I thank every single one of them for that, because that just pushes me through and helps me continue.
Excellent. Finley, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. You're such a gentleman, and for such a young age, you've got an old head on your shoulders, and that's a compliment. So thank you for joining me, and thanks for recording this podcast with me. And hopefully, I'm going to chat to you much more in the coming year and coming years and things like that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. That was amazing. Yeah.